Charlie Cox pretty much confirms that we're getting a darker Deadpool. No, we got a Deadpool already. Don't worry about that one. But he confirmed it, and he was right because it came out, and it wasn't very dark. So he was wrong. There was a lot of things I was wrong about. I was wrong about some things on my math test. I wasn't good at math, so I did other things, tons of other things. I started to juggle once. It was a joke I used to do all the time that I liked, and I used to tell people I could juggle, and I would just throw things into the air and let it crash on the floor and walk away. So you take that and you shove it in your hat. That's what you do. If you eat too much pizza, you get fat. So throw it around. See the clown? Hey, man, you ever paint the town? That's what we talk about on this show. So Charlie Cox was talking about Daredevil. He said that it's going to be dark. He confirmed it. And there's other things. Why my wife continuously won't leave me alone about this freaking futon. So we'll get into it. It's me and Rocha. It's the show. Now you know. That's the wrong freaking thing too. Great. It's good. Good day. Perfect. I love it. Good. Just great stuff going on here. Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen. Moving, grooving. Everything's going great. Welcome back. How you doing, John? Good weekend. Good stuff.
I have fun with this. I ride with you, man. Wherever you're going, it's fun little tangents you go on. So,
yeah.
Cool. I love it.
The Yankees did good.
Hey, speaking of the show, hello.
Did you watch the game? Were you watching when Soto hit that shot?
Soto, man.
Yeah.
Soto
jumped up. He reminded me of you when you were playing in the Schmodown when you were on your tear, like the way that you just like staring, like when you were staring down Bibiani or staring, like you see, like he was just messing with the pitcher, dude. He was just like kind of like, okay, and he's like, I'm all over it, and he just like stalked him. It was crazy. So it was hilarious. Is that? Yeah, I forget it was game 3 when they lost the game. Sam Levine was texting me throughout the game, like when they came back, he's like, how great are these guys? And I'm like, yeah, it's going good, and then it's like 2 strikes in the 9th, and I had to pause the game for a second because I had to take the dog, but I'm like, I'm not gonna check my phone or anything too, and it's like, and then my phone dings. I'm like, well, if it's Sam, that means that they won, and he keeps on going, and it is Sam, and I'm like, okay, so I'll at least check it, and I'll have to just rewind and watch how they won. I'm bummed that I have to do it, but and he's like, sorry, I jinxed it. I'm like, you son of a bitch. So they went up losing that game, and I said to Sam, I go, he actually said it to me. He goes, I'm not going to text anymore until it's over. I go, please. And then so the next day they win, and he texted me afterwards, and I said, let's keep this trend. And so we wound up doing it. So it's but they won that one, and then the poor Mets. I was hoping that the Mets were going to win. I really was.
Like no disrespect to the Guardians and the Mets. Their fans were like, "Oh, we got you this year, Dodgers and Yankees. Don't you count us out. Cinderella story, team of destiny." Let me tell you something. When you've got teams that are this stacked, destiny means nothing. And clearly it showed throughout this series on both sides what they were able to do, the Dodgers and the Yankees. You know what's crazy too, the Dodgers and the Yankees, they both are the highest paid, I think the highest paid salaries in baseball rosters overall. But they both think they're underdogs, which is so weird. But hey, they grabbed onto it. That's their approach.
Well, I'm mad at Derek Jeter right now, and I love Jeter. It's probably my favorite, second favorite Yankee of all time, next to Mattingly. And he did you see that they showed predictions that A-Rod picked the Dodgers versus the Yankees, with the Yankees winning 7. This is before when the playoffs started. And Derek Jeter took the Phillies and the Orioles. Bastard.
Yeah, that's weird.
Yeah, I know. He's just trying to like not look like a like a homer company man, but come on, DJ, get your shit together. The other thing is, I know you can relate to this. If I have to hear about a futon one more time, I'm gonna smash my head.
What's wrong with the futon?
There's a futon. My wife wants to get a futon. She wants to get this because there was a thing.
You guys back in college? What is this?
No, it was a futon. It's for the guest room. We have a guest room, and my it's a nice futon that if people wind up crashing there, like they can just you can fold it out. It's in the office. And they crash out on it. And so like she's like, I want to get this futon for the thing. I'm like, do we need to get it now? Is no one ever be staying with us? And like my oldest has been staying in the room because the youngest gets sick, and they try to separate him. and the other one we had in there broke. So I'm like, okay, just get it. I'm like, just get it. And she's 57 texts about futons and where to get it from. I go, what color to get? What are we talking? I'm trying to figure out if Charlie Cox talking about Daredevil right now. We're talking about futons. I'm like, turquoise, beige. She's giving me shit because I spelled beige wrong because of auto spell. It's like the whole thing. It's like it's a thing. It's a thing.
Honey, I'm trying to do important things here.
No, yeah.
About the futon.
What are we talking about? The futon. So anyway, we have a lot to discuss, and we have these things in New York Comic Con. I didn't get a chance to go. I was hoping to go. I was supposed to go to Josh Horowitz thing. And had to cancel the last minute because again, dude, it's you're lucky you don't have kids. It's like they get sick every 5 seconds they go into school, and so people get ill over here. Couldn't do it again, and then but the good news is that because of that, I found a good burger spot here that I've been looking for a good burger spot. A good spot.
Are we going into a commercial right now?
No, just found a burger spot. It was good, yummy, tasty.
What's the name?
Well, I don't want to tell anybody that. No one needs to know. What was I going to tell you? Oh, you know what's hilarious is that Matthew Lillard came on the show, and he's
Shaggy.
Yeah, he was in studio. He came in and
Nice.
he could have taken a train and been here 35 minutes, but he took a car at 3:30 in the afternoon from Manhattan, and it took him 2 hours and 10 minutes to get here, and it was hilarious in the way that he responded to it. But you guys will see that on Wednesday. Anyway, we can get into this. Charlie
Let me ask you something.
Yeah,
is he a big dude?
He's tall. Yeah, he's tall.
Oh, that's what I've heard. He's tall. Like,
well, he came in. He was there. Weren't you there when he came into Collider Live?
No, I don't think I was there that day. Or if he did, I just was like
you just were working or something. Yeah, he came in. He was great. He's a great guy. He's very funny. I'll tell you, for a very inspirational story he tells when I asked him about the Descendants. Well, it's funny because my head was mush by the time he got there, and I was like, listen, I want to talk about a movie that I don't think anybody talks to you about. And I know that you're in. It was great. And I'm thinking Alexander Payne. And I said Sideways, right? And he's like, well, I wasn't in that. And he goes, I'll help you out. Descendants. And he's like, I shouldn't help you out. I should let you sit in it for making me be in the car for 2 hours. I was like, he's like, I know where you're going with it. I was like, yeah, Descendants. Same director. But he told a great story about getting the Descendants.
Oh, wow.
And it's very inspirational on how he got that. So I look forward to having people check that out. That's going to be on Wednesday. So, I was going to dive into this story about Charlie Cox, but I saw you did the show Winston on the other day, and you guys were talking about the Spill the Tequila, and you guys are doing the Cynthia Erivo stuff, and I saw your take on it, and I think that everybody seems to be on the same thing. It's like, look, the first thing that I heard about it that I didn't follow the full story at first, and now I'm read up on it. But at first I thought that it was more so about because there was people doing like sexual, green private part stuff, that's disgusting. That's horrible.
That's a 10-year-old thing, by the way.
But that stuff in general, right? Like if anything like that, anything sexual, anything racist, anything like that, and you have then go after it. Do what you got to do.
Right.
Going after fans doing fan art, no matter, even if you're heard about it, is the wrong way to go, because these are the people. These are people that are on your team. Yeah. Like you can make a statement like, oh, it bums me out because my face was hidden. The whole point, I wanted to get my eyes out there, but I see what they're doing. They're trying to pay homage to the actual the art, and these are massive fans, and they're not erasing me from the thing. They're just emulating the thing that they loved from before, and it's still, ours is still out there. I think she handled it terribly.
Yeah,
terribly.
Yeah, I'm one of these people that initially will always be like, okay, look, I get whether, I think what they're saying is correct. But in this situation, especially when it comes to, people of color or black people like getting erased, I think there are valid concerns and valid complaints to make in certain situations. This doesn't feel like it. Kristian, I think you're 100% right. The response was more, hey, I get what they were going for, but I also want them to be aware that this also kind of conjures this for me, or can conjure this for those of us who've worked really hard to be seen in this industry. It kind of erases us a little. There was no malice behind
at all. Can you imagine?
AI thing, I think she has more credibility in the AI thing, but the posters themselves, that was just an homage to the original poster. That's all. They even changed her hand, Glinda's hand, to cover her face more. So you saw less of Ariana Grande in that shot. So it's unfortunate. I get Cynthia's point, but I think it was the wrong place to make the point.
I think it was just handled wrong. I think it was just said wrong, because imagine it's like, and I don't know who did it. I don't know who did the art itself. But imagine it's like some 13-year-old, kid who's doing Photoshop and sends it out to a star going, oh, look what I did also, because I'm so excited. And then you just completely destroy this person's love for this thing and hurt them in general for what they're trying to do. And it's like, I think you can say there are versions of this, and I see what that's the point, is that if it was done, if they got rid of her and made her a different person, and it wasn't her face, and it was like, they said, we don't like the casting of Cynthia, we're put someone else we thought was a better casting, and this is our version of it with the thing, then she's going to go, well, what are you doing? Why are you trying? This is something I worked really hard on. What are you trying to? But that's not what happened here. This was just someone going, this is a beloved. It's not hers, by the way. She was cast in this role. This is a beloved. This is a beloved theater presentation that's been going on for years. And so I think it was. I think, as I tell you every show, this is why this is a travesty. It's a travesty because you're allowed to have those emotions. She's allowed to have those thoughts. She's allowed to feel the way that she did. She 100% could say to someone, and like a producer or whatever it is too, like, I'll be honest, I know what they're doing. I understand. Like, I get it. It's they're paying homage to it, and I see. But like, it hurts me because like it erases me a little bit. But I understand what they're doing. But I'm just letting you know I'm bummed about it. Yeah. By going out there and shitting on the fan base, I thought there was a big mistake.
I think this movie's already like dangerously, possibly going to underperform. And I know there's a big to do, and I know there's a lot of women getting together to go see it. A lot of people from the LGBTQ plus community are excited to see it. But like, the last thing you want to do, as you said, is kind of go after a fan who was trying to do something cool with it. And look, he didn't change her, or that person, I don't know what gender they were. They didn't change her face. They just moved the hat to simulate. Like, but her nose is the same, her lips the same, the mouth, the face construction, all of it is the same. They added the red lipstick a little bit because to mirror the poster, but that's it. And so I think it's just kind of foolish, as you said, to go after the fans when this film may not be this big pop culture zeitgeist that everyone's trying to create out of it, who really love the musical. And so you kind of make some of these fans be hesitant to promote the movie, and that's not what you want. And by the way, John M. Chu backed her up. So the director of the movie backed her up. Yeah. That's also kind of a bad situation.
That to me turns into this thing that keeps on happening in general with this culture, is that it's like, because there's one thing is that where, well, I've gotta, and there's something to say like, well, I gotta protect my star. I gotta be there for my star. Right. But I still think you can say things in a way that, look, we respect it, in the same way that he says it, he could say it also, in that we respect what our fan base wants to do. We understand it. Essentially saying what we just said. It's that, but Cynthia was, she was hurt by this because she's worked so hard on this, and we're so proud of the work that she did, and we're proud of it too. And we know how much you guys love it, and we can't wait. And we have, not only do we have our version of the photo, we have that too. And we understand what we were going for, but boom. And you can still protect her too without saying, yeah, she's right. Stupid. It's really stupid, because it's as you say, this is business. And you're trying, and if I'm Universal, I'm going, oh no, what are you doing?
Well, and Ariana had a great reaction. Like, they asked her about it, and she said, it's a very complicated situation with AI. It's conflicting and troublesome, but also there's a massive adjustment period. So it's so much bigger than us, and the fans are going to have fun and make their edits. That's what she said. Yeah. So it's very much walking the middle of the road here. And so
Ariana Grande said that?
Yeah, Ariana Grande said that. And so I get where Cynthia was coming from. I just don't think this was the example that was so obvious that the intention was there to erase her. That wasn't the intention.
No, and this is where the PR people should also be 100%. Under going like, hey, maybe this was the case, but it's like, you gotta, before this whole thing goes on, so look, if there are issues, if there's anything, come to the PR team, and the PR team, let them take the hits for it, right? If the PR team's like, hey, we really appreciate what our fan base is doing, but our stars also did blah, 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 and let them take the hits for it, right? Because if you get something out there, because look, and we've talked about the Rachel Zegler whole thing with Snow White and how that stuff, it's like I'm serious, and I know that it's a goof on this show at this point, but it's like social media has done as much damage to PR as it has also helped. It's you can do. I mean, look at someone like The Rock can do great things, and Vin Diesel can do great things on social media and promote their movies, and Ryan Reynolds can do these things and really get their movies like out there and put them in the forefront. Then there's times where when you're too free with your words, and people are like, well, F you, I was excited about this movie, now I don't want to see it. I don't want to see it at all.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it's a dangerous road. Yeah, I
Very.
agree.
Anyway, so curious what you guys think about it. I know it's a couple days old, but I didn't really get a chance to talk to John about it, and very curious about his thoughts. I got him, so now I want to get yours. Put your thoughts in there for sure, and let me know what you're feeling. Yeah, John, before we move on to this topic, last week, you always set the bar so high on Mondays that everybody's always trying to catch up to you. Mike Kalinowski hit 113 on Thursday. Yeah, he's won his first big battle. So but I'll tell you, you're at 23 already, and Mike was only at 21 when we started on when we got to the question side of it. So you're at 23 already. So yeah, we'll see what happens.
It's my birthday this week.
Come on, it's this week, right? When?
Yeah, Wednesday.
Oh, nice. You going? What are you doing? You taking the day off?
You know what I'm doing?
What?
I'm working. That's what I'm doing. Probably have a live show at night, give away stuff. I like to give away stuff on my birthday. But
did the same.
This weekend, the lady's taking me to medieval times. I've never been to medieval times.
That's fun.
And I thought one time before I die, I should go, right?
Yes. So. I need you to do me a favor, though.
Oh, boy.
If you do the spill the tequila thing,
don't
ever let Winston do that accent again.
Well, hey, listen, it's Winston. I'm happy he does the show. I'm gonna let that man do it.
Don't let him do that accent. All right, let's get into the next one here.
I didn't even do that accent as the outlaw. Go ahead.
Yeah, you didn't.
That's what I'm saying.
Nobody should do that accent. All right, here we go. Randy Cox. I was gonna say this is every time this story. Randy Cox, Randy Quaid, Lewis. He teases Daredevil revival darkness. Following the panel for their Daredevil Born Again series at New York Comic-Con, Marvel Television has released the official logo, the synopsis, and the cast for the show. The synopsis reads, Matt Murdock, a blind lawyer with heightened abilities, is fighting for justice through his bustling law firm. Former mob boss Wilson Fisk pursues his own political endeavors in New York. When their past identities begin to emerge, both men find themselves on an inevitable collision course. The series includes a lot of different people. The show is confirmed to have a TVMA rating, and Cox explains to Collider that it's essentially going to be as dark as the Netflix series. We're continuing the darkness of the first series on Netflix. It's going to be that dark and intense. We worked our butts off to make it that way, so we're excited about it because of that. As far as I'm concerned, the biggest question that I got asked the most is it going to be dark like the original series? And the answer to that is a definite yes, it's dark. It's crazy. We do some things that are definitely a first for Disney+. He also confirms Matt uses the F word in the new run. It was shocking to me. It's almost under my breath, but you can hear it. I was like, oh, wow, great. Good to know for season 2. And then Dario Scartapane is the showrunner on Daredevil, which premieres on Disney+. There's the costume and the shot of Daredevil. So now this is something, John, that we knew about, obviously. They had talked about this. They had said the whole reason was that they were going to do Born Again. They announced Born Again at D23 2 years ago, whenever it was, and it was supposed to be 18 episodes, and it was going to be not attached to the Netflix lore. It was going to be something new universe, all that. And then whatever they saw on the dailies, they went, oof, this ain't right. Let's not do this. And they decided, hey, why are we going against that? And I give them so much props for this. I give them so much props for this. They said, this ain't working. Let's turn this around. Let's go back. If it ain't broke, don't fix it. And let's continue the Netflix series. And now you get a confirmation from Charlie Cox that this is going to be more gritty. Is this the right way to go? And how do you feel that Disney Plus is going to go this route?
Yeah, I'm excited about it. I mean, look, we just saw Deadpool and Wolverine under the Disney banner go into some pretty interesting directions with a lot of sexual references and cuss words and what have you. So clearly Disney sees that this is a viable financial route to take, and it isn't affecting their bottom line on the other side. Like, there are a lot of parents going, oh my God, we're not going to watch this now that you do this. So it's clear that the society has kind of evolved to the point where, okay, with this being for adults, this being for kids under the same banner, it's okay. My thing here, when you look at the costumes, why are they afraid of putting the double D on his costume? I'm really confused by this. It's just kind of odd to me. But I do like the darkness. I don't think the cussing is a big deal. I don't know why the F word is such a big deal that he's going to say it. I don't really think he needs to say it. Honestly, Matt Murdock's not really known as this like cussing guy, but maybe in certain situations they'll need a moment where he says that. But that can be good or that can be bad. We've seen in Star Trek and Star Wars where they kind of say a cuss word or get close to saying a cuss word, and it's like, so I don't know. We'll see. But the darker approach, I'm always going to be in favor of that. So I'm excited to see this one. And then they announced that it was coming out like March or something like that.
Yeah, they said March. I think they said official was March, which is great. And it's going to be it. And I also think that, now that they've had the success with Deadpool Now, Deadpool is not
Yeah,
necessarily dark, but it's definitely it's not
it's a
dark.
little dark. It's a little dark.
I mean, kind of, but it's bloody and it's foul and it's that kind of, and it's a hard rated R. There's no doubt about it.
Oh yeah, totally.
But as far as like this, Daredevil got kind of grim at points, especially with the backstory with the Punisher and all that. And John Bernthal said the same thing. He said he wasn't going to come back unless it was
right
true to what they did last time, and it seems like they're honoring that. And I think this is a way to go because they kind of promised that a little bit with what's the one that just came out? Shoot, the one that thank you. They promised that with Echo. The trailer was a little deceiving.
Yes, I agree.
The trailer looked like it was cut to be this, and I think that they did some of this stuff. There was more true to the Kingpin character for sure, and more so than that stupid performance in Hawkeye, whatever it was. That was awful. What a goofy way that they turned. If they would have done that with him, and it was awful. But anyway, it was just the story just kind of fell flat in Echo, I thought.
Yeah.
But they have more time to work on it here.
Yeah, I agree. And I think they showed the darkness in the trailer. As you said, Kristian, the majority of the darkness was already in the trailer.
Yeah.
So when you saw it in the show, it didn't quite carry over as cohesively as it should have. And you're right. That's the story overall. Didn't 100%. I thought it was a watchable series, but I didn't think it was a great series, right? And so I wanted to see more of that. And I think them stopping, a quarter of the way through, going back and going like, we need to do something better here. This is encouraging, right? Yeah. So will they get it right? I hope they get it right. I like what's happening with Agatha. It's getting stronger and stronger as the series goes along. And hopefully this is Marvel maybe slowly starting to turn this corner. Tom Holland talking about those Spider-Man 4 scripts he's really excited about. Robert Downey Jr. coming back here. I know people might be on the fence about that, but he's coming back. So to me, this is maybe Marvel kind of figuring things out, going, okay, we need to go back a little bit, reanalyze where we're at, and come with better product, better efforts so that the fans get back on board with this stuff. Because it's not a lost cause. There's a lot of people who want it to work.
Well, they think, though, that that when they run into Captain America, though, that's going to be the big thing. Because right now you can get the hype going, you can get all this stuff going and Daredevil. The good news for them is that Daredevil comes out in March, right?
Yeah.
If Daredevil's great, because the test screenings for Captain America not so good, as you're hearing and other people are hearing.
I have been hearing that, yes.
Right. So if that movie turns out to be the farts, then they still have a chance. They have a chance to get people kind of excited again through Daredevil, even though it's a street level kind of thing, and it should attach to Spider-Man, but it doesn't seem like it's going to. However, you still get, okay, yeah, don't worry about Captain America. Watch this for 8 or 10 weeks or whatever it is, and then we're going to show you Thunderbolts. There's a little more gritty there, and cross your fingers on Thunderbolts and hope that works out. Then that leads into Fantastic Four. So you still have an opportunity, but it's like they're doing this thing right now where they're like they get one Guardians and here comes the Marvels, and then they get there's Deadpool, there comes Captain America, and then we're counting it out before it's even out. But I'm just saying they need that. Never used to happen back in the day, even with things like the Dark World. Mm-hmm. That movie still did very well, and people are like, okay, not the best, but you know what? What's the next one? And that's not they don't have that anymore.
Yeah.
So I'm curious to see how it's going to play out. I'm curious what you guys think. So put your thoughts in there. How excited are you for Daredevil? You think it's going to be a great series, good series? Is it going to continue on? It makes me want to go back and rewatch the other series. And I don't know. I'm pretty sure that I finished the last season. It was only 3 seasons.
Yeah, 3 seasons.
I think I watched the 3rd season. It was so long ago. I feel like I did. I know I didn't see The Punisher though. I didn't watch the Punisher season.
You didn't watch the first season of Punisher?
No, I know. I know.
That's my favorite season of Marvel television ever. I highly recommend.
It's funny. I think I was at that point. I was in my kind of farewell to being at Collider, and I think that they wanted me to watch it or something to do something. I don't want to watch this. So I am excited to see it. I really like John Bernthal in general. Punisher was like I loved Punisher as a kid, so I will go back and watch that for sure.
Sure.
Put your comments in there, guys. Let me know what you think. As I mentioned, we are always excited to tell you about our sponsors. You guys know about AG1. I've been telling you about AG1 forever. I've been telling you about Built. I'm going to tell you again. Here you go. Let's talk AG1. I love AG1. I had it this morning. I love it. It helps you build a healthy morning routine. 60 seconds to get your daily dose of vitamins, minerals, pre and probiotics, adaptogens, more. And I've been drinking it for, forever. You can't be part of this show if you haven't heard me talking about AG1. I'm going to give you a couple of fast facts about AG1 and how it supports your gut health. It contains prebiotics, probiotics, and gut-supporting ingredients to support your digestion, reduce bloating, and keep you regular. In a research study, 80% of participants noticed less gas and bloating after 30 days of drinking AG1. For me, I've had a lot of changes since I started to. I sleep better, better gut health, my focus, stress, all of it. It's just great. AG1's powder form makes it easy for your body to digest and access the nutrient-dense ingredients in the formula. They've been around with us for so long because so many of you guys have been doing it also. You've been getting AG1, you've been checking it out, you've been changing your routines, and it's worked. So if you want to start and notice the difference for yourself, it's a great first step to invest in your health, and that's why they've been a proud partner of mine for so long. Try AG1 and get a free bottle of vitamin D3, K2, and 5 free AG1 travel packs with your first purchase at drinkag1.com/bigthing. $48 value for free if you go to drinkag1.com/bigthing. Go ahead, check it out. Built. I really hope that people are going to start taking advantage here of Built, because listen up, renters. If you ever feel like you're stuck in this loop of rent payments, just watching your money vanish into thin air, it is time to turn that rent game around and start earning some serious rewards, and that's where Built Rewards comes in. You've done that before. You've been there. You're like, I'm burning cash with all the rent checks. I'm there all the time. I feel like it. It's frustrating. But here's the deal. Built Rewards has figured out a way to make rent more rewarding. You say goodbye to the money bonfire and hello to a renter's revolution with Built. Built is breaking ground as a neighborhood rewards program that hooks you up with points on your rent. Every month, you pay your rent and you watch the Built points roll in. You can use your points to book fitness studio classes, redeem them towards a future rent payment. They're designed to meet your lifestyle. Pay rent hassle-free through the Built Rewards app. Your rent game just got a major upgrade. Built points have consistently ranked the highest value point currency by the Points Guy and Bankrate. Earn points by paying rent now when you go to joinbuilt.com/bigthing. That's joinbuilt, BILT.com/bigthing. And make sure to use our URL so they know that we sent you. Joinbuilt.com/bigthing to start earning points with your rent payments today. All right, thank you to our friends over at Built and AG1. And if you are able to, click on those links. That's all I'm asking you to do. Click on them. Why? Well, it helps out the show. And you will also help yourself out. Get something wonderful. John, do you see this box office stuff going on this weekend?
Smile too, man. What are you going to say here?
Well, we got some 23 million rather for Smile. Then Wild Robot, which I just watched again. We're releasing a reaction to that on Friday. Terrifier 3 with another 9.3 million. Beetlejuice at number 4. That's crazy. How much is Beetlejuice? I'm going to look at that. And look at We Live in Time. That's a good number for that movie for 4.2 coming out limited, I think, theaters. And it does. Did you wind up seeing it yet, John?
I might go see that one today. My afternoon just opened up, so
Okay.
I might be going to see that one.
I like that one. And then, so Wild Robot thus far is at almost 200 million.
Love it.
Okay, so then we got, let's see. Back on that, you got Beetlejuice.
283 million.
434 worldwide. So that is, crazy stuff going on here. And then Smile 2, and Terrifier 3, I think, has 41 million thus far. So I don't know, John. This is that's a number for Terrifier again, and it's also a number for Smile. The horror is kind of in October, that's 46 million for that movie. That's a pretty damn good 23 domestic, 23 international. It's a pretty good start for that movie.
I agree. It's fantastic to see it, for the box office and for theaters, that there's, it's not just the superhero stuff. There's other genres and horror has been doing really well over the last few years, as a place for people to go and enjoy themselves. And especially if you're able to direct one and create one that kind of checks these boxes or taps certain buttons with people, People will go see it over and over and over again. I mean, it's crazy out there in the world right now. So you'd think horror wouldn't be successful because there's enough horror going on in our world. But no, people do want to go and escape into this stuff and have some fun with it in the theaters. And so I think it's great to see it. I can't wait to see Smile 2. Everyone across the board says it's really good. And people who I don't normally see talk about horror films say it's really good. So I'm excited to see it at some point this week.
I'll be the curmudgeon. I think I think the first two acts are good, and then by the time you get to I think the end is ridiculous. And and it's but they're setting up. What I do think is I love the director and and Naomi Scott, awesome. Yes. But I just think that it's a clear setup to make this a franchise. And it's so painfully clear watching it, and it was just disappointing because I had just seen the original. The original just feels like this kind of going back to that gritty, low budget horror movie, and because of that, you just feel like you're really in it. And it felt original, and this one is just kind of grabbing a lot of those things. And there's one when you see it, if anybody who saw the movie, and I'm not spoiling it for anybody, but if you saw it, you know what I'm talking about. There's a ridiculous scene with a bunch of dancers, is all I'll say. And I couldn't help it but go, it didn't seem scary at all. It seemed ridiculous. And I'm like, come on. I'm like, don't do that. It's like, it was like, was it red light, green light, 1, 2, 3? Remember that game?
Yes.
When you're going to see the movie now, you're going to remember me, the red light, green light, 1, 2, 3, and you're going to laugh because there's no way now you can take it seriously. So red light, green light, 1, 2, 3. It's so stupid. It's so stupid. But the movie, it's fine. It was, as I was saying, when I saw it, I was really enjoying it for a bit, and then by the time you get to the end, anyway. But 42, 44, whatever the hell it made a lot of money.
Yeah, 43. Yeah.
Because John, it's the same. It's our song. They're singing our song, which is stop spending too much money, and you will make it. If you make 40, because imagine if this movie costs $200 million, then you panic at 44 million. Because guess what's not in the top 5?
Yeah, Joker 2.
After week 3. Can you imagine in any world 2 months ago, if you and I were talking about this, would we have been saying, oh, well, it won't even be in the top 5. If I told you it wasn't going to be in the top 5 by week 3, you would have tripled or nothing our bet.
Yeah.
Right. And I would have encouraged you to.
Yes. I mean, what a shock. What an utter shock.
It's crazy. I don't even know where it landed in the top 10.
It's an intellectual masterpiece that we all don't get. And it is now, where's it at? Like,
it's number 6. It's number 6. It's number 6. And it's made 191 total. After 3 weeks. No, it's not even this budget. And after 3 weeks, and plus the marketing, it's going to be a major loss.
And they already announced it's going to digital next week.
Right. Well, just the way to try to get something back. Yeah. They're trying anything they can, but it's
shocked, man.
Hilarious and sad at the same time. What I'll tell you, it's not. It's like I don't know how you do it every week. You don't even say anything. You have the 30 questions already. We haven't even gotten to the thing yet so far. It's pretty good, John. I'm impressed. Always impressed. Let's see. What else we got here? We got there. I don't know. Do you know what this show is? This evil show. Do you know what this show is?
Evil?
Yeah. Oh no, I know what it is. Evil's the one that was with Michael Emerson, who I really Michael Emerson. And so they I guess they aren't going to do anything with it moving forward. I know they had a series finale with it. I knew that, and then I know, but I so strange. I actually, I interviewed him with Roxy. And then Michael Emerson, yeah.
Oh, that's awesome.
He was great. And so I interviewed him. But what's great is that he was in New York. I was supposed to try to get him that was going to rent out a studio in the city and go and interview him there, but I couldn't get it done. So we wound up doing virtual. It was a great conversation. And then with that whole debacle when I got lost from trying to find that theater when I was going to see Saturday Night.
Yeah.
I ran into him randomly in the subway.
Wait. Are you saying that you got lost and you ran into Michael Emerson?
Yes.
That's actually really good.
He
was on Lost.
Yeah. That was hilarious. But I wound up meeting him, talking to him for a little bit. Really nice guy.
Wow.
Really nice guy.
Yeah. You know who he's married to, which I found out over the weekend?
Yeah.
My Lily Outlaw, she loves that Elsbeth show on CBS.
Yeah.
That's his wife.
Yeah.
I had no idea that was his wife.
Yeah, he talked about his wife quite a bit. They were at one point, they were, like, she was working, he wasn't, she was working, he wasn't. And then he was like, I'm good not working right now. And then I ran into him, he's like, I just booked something. And it's like, that guy's gonna be working forever. He's the best. He's so good, and he's such a pleasant person to talk to.
That's great.
And then I forget, were you a Saved by the Bell person, or was that past your time?
Oh yeah.
So do you remember? So I have a clip out that I'm going to put out on the channel if I can ever freaking get to it. I interviewed Mark Paul Gosselaar last week. And,
nice.
Yeah, and I talked to him about that AC Slater fight.
Oh yeah.
And I talked to him about that fight. He told me it was a real fight. He said he said, look, now I've done so many of these fights, and like they're choreographed, and the way they're choreographed, and the way that you get stunt people to do certain things. He goes, we rehearsed it once Friday night. Then they said go, because the emotions are high. He goes, I'm pretty sure that was a real fight.
I'm not surprised. I'd want to fight Mario Lopez too.
No, you would want to fight him? Is that what you said?
Of course.
You not like Mario Lopez?
I'm not a Mario person. I like Gosselaar though. I think he's great.
He was great. He was great.
Yeah.
So anyway, we do have some. What's that?
What does he have coming up?
He's got a show. He's got a show on NBC called Found.
Right, the kidnap show.
Yeah, and he's kind of like the Hannibal Lecter of the show.
Yes, I forgot about that.
Yeah. He's he's really good on it, and he's cool. I really enjoy talking to him. Him, Lillard. I'm going to jinx myself, because every single time I do this, I say who's going to come on the show. It always gets jinxed, but I'll jinx it anyway. The kid from Penguin.
Oh, Renzi Felice.
Yes.
Nice.
Yeah. So I'm working on Victor right now, trying to get him. And did you watch Sundays? You did, right? Of
course I did. Yeah, we just did our review this morning before I came on the show. Yeah,
so good.
I loved it. And my reaction is up on the channel right now.
Really
I like this episode. It was good, like episode after last episode. It's good, like let's reset the table, see where we're at. And Sophia making her moves and Oz making his moves. I loved it. Yeah.
Absolutely love that show. It's so good. And you know what's so funny is when I was watching that episode, because I had to watch back to back because I missed it the following week. So I did 4 and 5 together. I didn't even realize Kristen Milioti was in The Sopranos.
She had a really small part.
She was Johnny Sack's kid. Right?
Yeah, she talks about it. She said she never even seen Sopranos.
Yeah, I saw that clip. Yeah. So she said not until like recently she watched it and then loved it. Yeah, but she's great. She's really good. Where would you stand on House of the Dragon? Did you love it?
House of the Dragon. Yeah, I do. I love it.
Me too.
It was great.
Same. Yeah. There's no word yet on season 3. Not yet. So no progress yet has been made in the 3rd season of House of the Dragon, at least according to the actors. Appearing at a panel at New York Comic Con, Matt Smith, Fabian Frankel, Tom Glenn Carney all say they have very little information regarding the new run. Moderator Josh Horowitz asked if any of them had seen a script for the upcoming 3rd season, to which Glenn Carney said no, not a jot, not a letter. The longer they take, the longer we don't have to read anything for a while. Smith added, whilst turning to Frankel, I've not heard hide nor hair. I don't know about you guys. I've not heard a thing. Have you? Frankel responded, I've heard some things that I couldn't possibly share here. Showrunner Ryan Condal and the writers are working on the new season, which follows in the wake of the 2nd season finale, which aired in August. HBO has not announced any production or release plans for the series beyond the renewal order, and plan to end the series with its 4th season. The gap between the 1st and 2nd seasons was 20 months, and airing tends to take place nearly a full year after filming wraps. This means we won't be in the 3rd season until 2026 at the earliest. HBO has another Game of Thrones spinoff, A Knight of the Seven Kingdoms, which comes out in 2025. I think that adds to it. I think the new show adds to them going, okay, we can take a breath, come back when we need to come back with it. And I also think all this drama with George R.R. Martin didn't help. I think because if he's out there, because he had pulled, I think he wrote that thing and then he pulled it down, right?
Yeah. What a stupid thing to do. I just was so mad at him for doing that.
Like, I don't know why.
Bitch, if you're gonna write, stand by it. Don't fucking pull it down. I'm sorry, I don't mean to get upset, but like it really made me mad. Like you can't finish your book, but you got time to write this whole long treatise on what went wrong with House of the Dragon. Like, get out of here, man. Come on.
Yeah, I just don't. But I just don't understand. It's the same way that what we were talking about before with Cynthia. It's like, what are you doing? These are people that are paying your bills, and it's like okay, because the fans are going to rally behind you because you're George R.R. Martin. You're the guy who created. So if you start saying, they're not. Oh, if you guys knew the real truth here about this, unless Unless, you know, there were some things that he said to them many times, like, look, guys, stop doing this. I need you to do this. It's in my contract to do this, and we're supposed to be, and you're not, and you're negating that. You're not going to, and so if you keep doing that and you're not listening to me and I'm feeling ignored, I'm going to have to post something. And if he told them that, I don't know if this happened. I'm just saying, like, if in a scenario like that and you found that out, you'd be like, okay, well, he gave him enough warning where he kept telling them that he wanted to do something and they kept ignoring him, and he knows the world he created and they're clearly ignoring him. But if he just decided that, well, you know what, I don't like the way this happened, I'm going to tweet now. And it's like, dude, stop it.
Yeah. That's the frustrating part of it all, because he didn't say that that's what happened. So it looks like he's trying to save face, like, oh, hey, these are the changes they made. It's not my story. It's their story. It's like, you're intimately involved in this. So if you're going to come out and go against what the storylines have been and force, because I think a couple of the directors or the showrunners had to come out with a statement saying, we understand George's opinion, but we had to go for time. We had to constrain certain storylines. Then you're just kind of left with your own devices. And I think George should come out and say straight up, I told them not to do this. I told them, but they went ahead forward and blah, blah, blah. But to take it down means the lawyers got a hold of them and were like, take this down, or else you're going to lose money. So,
and that's the point. It's like, figure out first if you can do that, and then do it. Right? It's like, if figure it out first, and don't just post, because then if someone goes, oh, we're gonna lose money here if you keep that up. It's like, take this thing and chop your hands off everybody, because this is the worst. It's the worst. It continues, like, the amount of money and the amount of careers that were destroyed over these things. It's insane. It's insane. And I'm telling you, it's like having a loaded weapon. Eventually, you're going to shoot yourself in the foot. You keep doing it. I'm talking to all of you.
Do you mean the phone, or do you mean the app?
The app, the Twitter. Okay. I'm telling you, eventually, you're going to shoot yourself in the foot. And you go, ooh, how'd that happen? It happens to everybody.
Yeah.
Everybody. It's happened to you. You know it did.
It's happened to you.
Of course. I don't. Yeah. Well, no. App-wise, no. I got myself in trouble because I opened my big stupid mouth and when I shouldn't have done that. Same thing, because I'm alive all the time, tired. This, not really. No, I haven't gotten myself with tweeting out, but people will, because I don't do it, because I post and run. I run away. But the same thing is, like, even going back, like, over the weekend, I got myself in not trouble, but like there was somebody who. I was in my Sopranos mode, and there was somebody who commented on the Robert Eiler video, and it's a clip out, and so there's the portion of the clip out is me talking and then him following up, and so this person writes on the clip out, they go, "Why don't you let your guest speak when you interview him?" And I said, "Hey, fuckface, if you would have been watching the whole interview, you would have seen that I was actually having a conversation. So why don't you stick your head up your ass?" And then I said, I'm gonna delete that. And I just banned the guy from the channel. And I was like, it was like, that's what I do. What I normally do 9 out of 10 times. I just hide the user from the channel, because there's no reason to get after. And I'm guilty of it 100%.
People who don't have successful channels love to tell you what to do with your channel, love to tell you what you should be doing right or wrong. And that's the danger. You're right. That's the danger.
It is.
And I don't include myself. I mean, like, I only have 35,000, but like, it's still 35,000. And so I know I climb into the comments sometimes, and people with like 1 follower or 1 subscriber, like, you're terrible. You should do this and you should do that. And it's like, show me you're successful, or even remotely 1,000 subscribers YouTube channel. Let me see what you got. But
well, look. So it's also
ignore that shit.
That's the thing, is that it's more. It's not easy, but it's also what you have to realize is it. And I tell myself this: it comes with the job. Yeah, it comes with the job, yeah. And I have to understand. And I've been so good at it, and then that's also one of the reasons I wanted to stay away from live, because it's like, there are a lot of times with live where I'll be like last week. I was having like it was on with Mike, and the sound was messing up with this freaking thing, and and it's like, I'm like that freaking the monkey with the clapping, trying to do all these different things, and people cracking jokes. That's what I would do too in the live thing. But I was at the time I didn't want to hear it, because I'm sitting there trying to figure it out, and I'm like, yeah, I get it, and I get frustrated, and I'm like, I can't do that, especially with people because I was. Mike Joyce cracked a joke. Mike Joyce is the most loyal freaking fan. It's like me telling him his poster sucks. It's like me telling him his poster.
Michael occasionally crosses the effing lines. And Mike's got to learn something too. Look, we all love
Mike's balls now.
Thank you very much, Mike. But sometimes You crossed the little lines.
He
Mike.
didn't cry. He didn't, but he didn't
Calm
that day. He didn't that day. It was I was just irritated with the freaking sound. Anyway,
Yeah.
so I'm trying to think if we have anything else. Yeah, go ahead, John. You're gonna say something?
Please tell me Tim Sim is commenting a lot in the because Tim Sim talked all that crap about the Yankees and the Yankees and the Yankees. Well, we got here, buddy boys. So
He's not
you
here.
better be
No, he's
sending in
not
a
here.
lot of money.
He's not
You
here.
better be sending in a lot of money.
No, stop that. He sends in his fair share. He's not here at the moment. At least I don't think he is. But I'm trying to think if there's anything else, anything big that we should cover before we move on to the stories. But I mean the questions. But we mentioned Deadpool before. And it's a pretty big story. Okay. Deadpool beat Barbie at the U.S. box office, man.
Domestic.
It may be on digital, but Marvel Studios' Deadpool and Wolverine is still continuing to smash records at the box office. Marvel Studios and Disney's R-rated film has now surpassed Barbie to rank number 12 on the list of all-time top-grossing films at the domestic box office. Film just took in another $679,000 this weekend, which is insane, pushing its domestic total to $636.3 million, just above the final $636.2 of Greta Gerwig's meta comedy. Globally, however, Barbie remains queen with its $1.446 billion worldwide haul, putting it in 15th place of all time, easily ahead of the Matthew Merck's haul of $1.336. Worldwide, it sits at 20th place of all time, having knocked Rian Johnson's Star Wars The Last Jedi out of the top 20. The film still holds many box office records since it's opened, most notably the biggest opening weekend for an R-rated movie at 211, the second biggest film of 2024 to date, and the MCU's seventh highest grossing film globally. This makes all the sense in the world that it would, with the trajectory that it was on, that it would be a domestic thing than a worldwide. Barbie, to me, makes more sense that did better worldwide, for sure.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, you remember back in the day when you didn't think it was going to cross $1 billion?
Yeah, I know. I was surprised. Who knew that the film was going to do as well as it did? And
Me.
Who knew that Joker was going to crash down to earth as well? Because that could have been a real big competition if it had come out and been an actually good movie. So yeah, a lot of surprising things happened here at the end with this. But I'm happy for it because it's a good movie. I've seen it 3 times. I enjoy it every time I watch it. And I think there's more darkness in this film than people think.
Okay.
I mean, Wolverine is dealing with the fact that he might have had a hand in having all of his friends killed by accident, and so there's that. And Wade is dealing with the fact that all of his family might be ripped from him, and he's going through a breakup with Vanessa, who he loves so much, and is really kind of glimpsing his life without her. We see what happens to Johnny Storm with his skin being ripped off.
That's
and then
just some gross stuff.
And then Cassandra going into your mind, essentially raping your mind with her fingers. I mean, there is darkness amidst the jokes in all this movie. So I think people need to give it a little more credit for where it exists at. It's not just yuck jokes.
Sure, I don't think the overall tone is dark. Are there some dark moments? Sure.
Which I think helps.
Yeah, I would agree with that. I would say there's some dark moments, but overall the tone is not necessarily dark. Yeah.
What about the Gladiator II reactions? What do you think?
I was going to ask you. I was going to add that's one that's in there. Thank you for bringing that up. Let's bring this up. The Gladiator II. There were some screenings, and they held its first. I know the Mance Man saw it.
Yes, he did.
Yeah, I don't know what his.
Wendy went as well.
Oh, did she? Okay, I didn't. Were they allowed to do social reactions on it?
Oh, yeah, social media reactions. There's a lot of social media reactions out for this one.
All right. Here we go. So Ridley Scott's Gladiator II had its first screening last Friday night, and the early reactions made their way to social screening at the Paramount lot in Los Angeles. The word has been unanimous raves, with dubbing it Ridley Scott's best in a long time. However, said reaction this time comes from social media influencers, junket reporters, or more award-centric journalists, as opposed to more regular film critics or even LA-based junket regulars who voice their skepticism on social media today. The result has been a lot of gushing, off and par for the course with early screening reactions, but even those usually are tempered with a bit more of critical assessment than the reaction we're seeing here, unless the film is really that good. Full critics' reviews for the film aren't dropping until closer to the release date, but Paramount seems to be bullish about the film's quality, with early screenings being held within the next week or two around the world, well before the film's release. Expect a ton of reviews well before it opens. Now there's a sampling, yada, yada, yada. Rest easy, Romans. Gladiator 2 is the kind of large-scale filmmaking excellence only Ridley Scott could corral, Everything about it just works. Big Maverick vibes in this ability to conjure the past while adding something new, bold, muscular filmmaking from a legendary talent. That's Drew Taylor from The Wrap. Clayton Davis says Ridley Scott's best directorial effort since The Black Hawk Down. I found Mescal's work as Lucius to be one of the film's most honest surprises. This is Denzel Washington having the time of his life and one of his most killer roles yet. Gladiator 2 is a true epic and Ridley Scott best in years. Mescal is a great action star without sacrificing his indie grit, a worthy heir to the throne. Denzel Washington eats every line in costume without overplaying it. Scott Menzel says Gladiator 2 is Ridley Scott's best film since The Martian, a big, bloody, and badass action spectacle that builds up the legacy of the original. Let's see, is there anything else too? Jermaine, who I like a lot.
Jermaine, yeah.
Gladiator 2 doesn't quite rise to the greatness of the original, but it's a damn fine sequel with big stakes, solid story, excellent performances. I enjoyed it thoroughly. Most probably will too, but it's just lacking emotionally. Everything is very easy and surface. Okay. I like Jermaine and his takes. So I think that there's most of those that I read though were critics.
I was gonna say, what the hell is that intro talking about? A lot of those guys are regular critics.
Well, those are critics. They pulled from critics. Now there were critics that were there, but it seemed like there was more, which is heavy. Yeah, it does seem like there were way more critics there than they made it seem, because all those were all. I mean, The Wrap is not an influencer, obviously, but it does. Keeping up with that trend in that article that they wrote, that The Wrap actually wrote about, influencers are the ones that are really more the priority now than the critics are. And, as much as it doesn't behoove us in that case, which is funny though, because if we wanted to, we could be invited to those, because we could be looked upon as both when it comes to YouTube or whatever it is. We've just been in the critics world for so long. And those are the screenings that I get into, the critic ones. Mm-hmm. But if you're looking at it again like a business, and you want to get the regular fans and the regular people out there, and you want to get them excited. Look at what they did with Beetlejuice, and it worked. Look what they did with Joker, which it didn't work, right? Now it looks like, what is this? This is Paramount. So Paramount is now following Warner Brothers and saying, okay, let's do the influencers first. Yeah, critics can see it afterwards. Let's get the fans out there to see it first, because they're going to be excited about it, and they're going to get their followers to see it, and that's the hype. Who cares what these? We have to do is we're obligated to tell the critics about it, but we'll give them a plate in the alley and throw some meatballs in the back. That's kind of what it feels like now, and that's what that article was pretty much. I think it's changing. I think the business is changing dramatically.
I think everybody's at fault for this. I really do. And a lot of people want to be like, oh, studios this or critics that. Everybody's at fault for this. And by that, I mean, look, there have been some critics who have absolutely taken advantage of their position, kissed their own butts, and thought they could write some really sanctimonious, passive-aggressive, snarky crap about a film that really diminishes the artistry and the amount of work that people put into a movie, so they can collect their paychecks, get as much click on their articles, and enjoy it and earn their, quote, six-figure salary that they get from some of these sites. And by the same token, studios themselves have been a bit cynical with putting out a crap product and trying to put a sheen on it or a gloss on it to trick people into the movie theater. Influencers kind of slid into this area here where there's been the battle between fans and critics, and played to the fans so they could get followers and subscribers. But then some of these influencers are paid by studios to promote their movies, to talk positively about their movies. So it becomes a nebulous situation. But the studios, it's about, as we said many times, Kristian, it's show business, and they're about making money. So they see that no longer do they have to cater to the critics exclusively in order to help their movie. In fact, if they know they've got a crap movie, going to influencers first who are willing to talk about the movie, talk it up to their large fan bases, allows them to make a good amount of money on the first day of release.
It's marketing.
And then evenally the critics. Yeah, right, exactly.
Yeah, it's free marketing is what they're basically doing there.
Not free. They pay these influencers.
I mean, some of them. Not some of them are just invited. There were some influencers that are just invited to screening.
The big ones they pay, but the other ones
right. And the big ones they invite to do videos and stuff, and come to the premieres and do all those things. But that's also because the studios had no other choice back in the day. When it came with critics, it was like that was the way it is. The critic came in, the critic reviewed it. There was no influence. There's nobody else to do it. There's nobody else shooting things. And now they've come to a point where, like, guy in the meeting go, hey, do we need critics? And they go, never really thought about that. Hey, I got Skunk Farts 83 who's got 1.2 million things, and he's gonna come in and do a big happy video about the movie and then tell people about it. And then you got Grouchy Magoo writing, he's got 500 followers and he's writing for a thing, but he's just gonna shit on the movie because we know it's not good. Do we need him to go? Well, we gotta invite him, but invite him to the last screening possible. Invite Skunk Farts to go to the thing and get him out there to tell everybody about it. And then it's just I know critics don't like it, but it's just the way it is now. And it's like there's no look, that's why I've always said I have never I don't consider myself an influencer, and B, I don't consider myself a critic. Never really have. I always said that I've been someone who review a movie. You can review it, and the same way that yeah, I think that anybody who's watching right now who watches a movie and reviews it, you can by definition say, well, that's a critic. Okay, fine. But a professional critic, like I always say, like, I think William Bibiani is a professional critic.
Yes, 100%.
I think William Bibiani is a professional critic.
Is a professional critic.
Yes. And even he's pulled back a bit on stuff too. Yeah, and well, Jermaine too. I think Jermaine's is kind of goes. He's more of a. I think he's more of a writer. Like he's writing certain things that he does, and yeah. But I think that he did. And what's his face? Whitney Seibel, professional critic, right? Alonzo Duralde, professional critic, right? And I think that there's just. I just think the business has changed, man. No, I don't think you're a professional critic. I don't. I think you want.
Got into the Critics Association.
What is that? So did I. So did I. But I think that we're. But they're also. But that's the thing too. The CCA is also now. It has changed dramatically since I got accepted into it too. In the same way that when I first got accepted into going to screenings with Mark, we were thumbs are up. People wanted nothing to do with us. We didn't want us to be there, right? We were two YouTube guys, and I remember writing to the studios and like, you do what? Who? What? Like I had to it took a while to get into those screenings, and it was because eventually you show the names, and I used connections and stuff that I had. I said, well, I worked at Warner Brothers, I did this, I did that, and then they started and I was on Adam Carolla, so they started to take us a little bit more seriously that way, and we started getting in, and then you start meeting people, and they started inviting you to more things. But
you are an influencer. I mean, you want to call yourself an influencer or not? You are an influencer.
It could if we fall into that category, we fall into that category, right? But what I'm saying with critics,
seeking to be an influencer.
No, but the CCA has now they definitely look at stats on YouTube, and they look at different things. That wasn't like that when I got in. They weren't caring about the stats on YouTube. They were caring
on YouTube, no, but they were caring about your stats in terms of, are people reading your articles?
Sure, 100%, absolutely.
So
yeah,
it's still the same criteria, it's just in a different format.
They're shifting though the same way that everybody else is shifting. They're shifting that they're letting their criteria who gets in now is different. There are people like there are tons of people that I saw that from YouTube critics that are getting in now. That would have not gotten in 5-10 years ago, because I remember speaking, like it was like they wanted a certain thing, and now it's just different. The business is different.
Well, people go to different places.
All right. So you guys, what do you think about all this? What do you think about Gladiator? You excited about it? Do you want to see it? You pumped? What say you? Put your thoughts in there. Let me know, man. What I also got to tell you guys about Rocket Money, baby. It's Rocket Money time. I love Rocket Money. And I don't know if you guys have caught on yet, but even the other day when I was talking to John about it, I was like, I use Rocket Money to cancel silly things that I don't need anymore. And I've done it so many different times. Subscriptions that I had and I forgot about and was paying twice for it and I didn't realize it. Rocket Money, I don't do that anymore. They let me know I'm done, because you can't. There's no way that if I asked you guys to do what's every single subscription that you guys have, you wouldn't be able to do it. I can't name all mine. And I know that I'm not alone. It's like over 74% of people have subscriptions that they forgot about. Rocket Money, I don't have to remember them all, because they just let me know. Done. It's a personal finance app. It also helps you find and cancel your unwanted subscriptions. It monitors your spending, and it helps lower your bills so you can grow your savings. So you can see all your subscriptions, one place, know where your money's going. For any of you that don't want it anymore, Rocket Money can help you cancel them with a few taps. It's that easy. They have over 5 million users, and they've saved a total of $500 million in canceled subscriptions, saving members up to $740 a year when using all the app's features. Stop wasting money on the things that you don't use. Cancel your unwanted subscriptions. You have to go to rocketmoney.com/thing. 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 I love it. I mean, I really do. It's like I get notifications like today. I go, as a Rocket Money said, you have this, a check cleared. You have this. I was like, oh, thank God. It lets me know all. I'm telling you, I'd be a mess without this thing. Love it. I love it. Okay. So John, I don't know how you do this. I really don't know how you do it. It's 37 already, man. As we're going into the questions thing, 37. And can you hit the bonus at the end of the week? We're going to find out because John's starting out tough. We'll find out. Okay. Let's go with this first question here, and that's Miguel. I haven't seen Miguel. What's up, Miguel?
Hey.
Miguel Zion. Do you all think that the Batman is still underrated today? The movie should be bigger than what it is. Everyone is asking for comic book movies that look different with great cinematography. Well, there it is, and more. Also, do you like how the Russos film their movies? I mean, I love all their MCU films. It's just that they all look the same, mostly color-wise. That's why I wanted someone else new for Doomsday. I get the point with the Russo brothers movies do look similar. I don't think that's a bad thing for the new Avengers, though. I think it's good to have them do the Avengers movie and the colors and everything. I think it fits. I don't disagree that it looks the same. But as far as the Batman, I don't think the Batman is underrated. I think that people really dig it, and I think that I think the numbers have even boosted up more because of the Penguin. But I don't know. What do you think, John?
Yeah, it's kind of an interesting situation because I don't think the Batman is underrated. I think a lot of people really enjoyed the movie, and it came out during COVID. Like, don't forget, it made as much as it made is pretty amazing. I think this is maybe in later times. This is a film that it makes $1 billion. If it came out maybe this year, it makes $1 billion, where people are much more comfortable going to the theater. And so, those are the situations there. People liked it. It was good enough to create a Penguin series off of it. So I don't think it's that underrated. If that universe is still very much seen as a universe that people want to see, and so the studio's greenlighting projects connected to that universe. I mean, there's still the Arkham, the GCPD stuff, so there was still stuff kicking around for a little while before it kind of got moved away. So I think it's still very much well rated. The Batman, people love it, and that soundtrack is
it's
score
really
is absolutely.
It's one of Giacchino's best for sure.
Yeah. 100%.
Before
and I like where the Russos shoot. So
before we move on, John, what's going on your channel this week, man?
Oh yeah, if you guys YouTube channel, youtube.com/John Rocha says there, the Outlaw Nation, a lot of stuff going on. We just dropped out, or I just dropped my reaction to the Penguin, and which is the watch long reaction there. But we will have our spoiler review on the Geek Buddies later on today. More Geek Buddies content, Agatha all along. We just dropped our main show talking about all the Spider-Man 4 and Spidey stuff over at Sony. The Hot Mic, of course, happening every week at 4 p.m. Thursday. Good to see the numbers haven't dropped that much, even though Jeff's jumped off of Twitter. It's nice to see that people are still coming back loyally and enjoying that show. And I'm sure we'll have a new Jedi Way this week. And we just dropped a new episode of Spill the Tequila with me and Winston A. Marshall, getting into some of the more dangerous stories going on in the world of entertainment. So a lot of stuff happening there, plus my reactions and my reviews for you all to enjoy. Thank you.
Make sure you check that out. Go and check John's channel out. He's building some stuff over there, some great shows. And Winston's wearing the hat. All right, let's get to this next question, and that is, Gary Busey. This is from Armada. Gary Busey is Jerry Jones in a Jerry Jones biopic.
I believe that if you put enough people running around in the field and put Emmett Smith back in there, can he still run? How about Michael Irvin running around backwards with the new? Is Troy there too? Has anybody seen my Doritos?
Thank you.
There you go.
Perfect. Aiden Norris, congrats to your Yankees. Thank you very much. As a Mariners fan, I know nothing but pain, having never made it to the World Series. I know Jay Buhner never got it done. Maybe one day when they spend money on the players instead of fireworks and bobblehead nights. Man,
wow.
I understand your pain. That's how I feel about Lucasfilm right now. But I get it. I totally get it. Armada.
Yeah, but at least Lucasfilm has had some victories. Seattle.
Yeah, I know. Seattle hasn't had it. I know. I don't, but I like. I don't mind Seattle. It's so funny. It's my neighbors here. I realized moving back to New York how much Met fans hate the Yankees more than the Yankees hate the Mets. I realized that. I realized that as I came back because my two neighbors who are great, really great. There's a guy who lives right across the way. His family, nicest people ever. And then on the corner, the family we become friends with the family on the corner, and both diehard Met fans. And I said to my my neighbor right across the street, I go, this is when they were still in. I was like, they got a shot. Yankees just made it. He's like, I had the game on last night. And he goes, look, my favorite team is the Mets, and my second favorite team is anyone playing the Yankees. And I was like, hey, he goes, look, what do you want me to say? I'm a jealous Met fan. And I go, honesty. I got honesty, right? But I'm like, and I said to him, and maybe I shouldn't have said it at the time. I did, but I go, look, I've always liked the Mets. It's like, hey, the little guy. Hey, the little guy. He did it. Anyway, Armada. Kind of would be cool to see Nolan do a swashbuckling movie. That would be cool. Maybe it could be an adaptation of The Time Machine or something H.G. Wells inspired. That would be cool. I would love to see. Wouldn't you like to see him do something more like a fantasy thing?
I would 100%. Yeah, because I mean, like that Time Machine remake with Guy Pearce is not good. And so if you wanted to explore that one again, I think there's a lot of opportunity for him to explore it. But Nolan doing a swashbuckling film would be a lot of fun. And I think it'd be good for people like, okay, let's not be so serious. Let's have a little fun with Christopher Nolan and see what he can do with a crowd rousing spectacular. It would be fun to see.
I would love to see that. I would love to see that. I don't know if he has any interest in doing that, but I want to see him do something more like that. And and then go back to another historical thing or whatever too, because whatever it is, I want to see it. Like I love Dunkirk. I love Oppenheimer, but I want to see him do something else, like diving into it. I do love when he plays with science. I mean, I really do. Armada also says, any word if the Cross show on Amazon is any good? I haven't seen
I've got the screeners. I have not watched them this week.
Okay.
Jeff Snyder has, but I think he's under embargo because he loves those Alex Cross series.
Okay.
So, yeah, Aldous Hodge. I love Aldous Hodge. So, I want to see it.
This is right up Snyder's alley, too, that show. Evil John Madden. Wish we could go back to actually being able to tell someone a movie sucks without having to say, but if you like the movie, that's awesome. People are too weak now. I don't care when I'm told a movie I like sucks and I'm wrong. Wimps. I don't necessarily. Evil John Madden's always in here to store up some shit, and I love it. But no, I don't agree with that. I think that you can, if you can still say you don't like a movie and something stinks. I feel the wimpiness is like if you don't think it is and you don't want to hurt someone's, if it's what you do. If you're out there going, well, I don't want to offend anybody, I want to make sure that I keep the positivity all the damn time. That to me is like, if you don't really like it and you're just saying, then you're fine. It's like, okay, I've been getting that recently. So I was like, oh, Kristian, he's just negative all the time. I don't need that in my life. It's like, if I don't like something, I'm going to say I don't like it. Right. But I also don't think it's right to say if you like it, to say, well, if you like it, you suck, because my opinion is it's not end all be all. So if you like it, that's great.
Right. Like, look, I'll tell you right now, Multiverse of Madness sucks. I hate that movie. I think it's terrible, right? But if you like it and it works for you, who am I to tell you that you're an idiot for liking it, right? That's those, I think there's nothing wrong to evolving to a place where you can still say something sucks for you, but also respect the fact that it doesn't suck for someone else. Because I tell you this, some of the movies you like, there are plenty of people who will tell you they suck.
Sure. 100%.
So it's all a matter of, that's why it's a subjective art. And I do see people going like, no, we need to have unanimity about this kind of thing. And it's like, no, we know unanimity. We know Oppenheimer is an excellent instant classic. 1917 is an instant classic. We don't, because we know a majority of people like it. And so there are people who don't like it, but they don't, in the end, they're not the opinion that carries the day. So we can have all of these things that exist for God. Yeah.
Love the show, guys. Let us all rejoice that Deshaun Cosby Watson finally had some karma catch up to him. It was pathetic seeing Jameis Winston defend him. It looked like Winston was recording a WWE promo backstage or something. And guys, at goofball. Maybe he can star in a soap opera when he retires. Yeah, now I feel like it was. I saw the clip, and I feel like it was, obviously doctored from the "You Deserve It" chant. Did you? Is that?
Yeah.
Is that real?
Yeah,
it was real.
It was doctored. No, the clip was doctored.
Okay,
people were cheering and people were
horrible,
booing. But I don't. Yeah, right. I don't think anyone should be cheering his injury, right?
No.
But and I think some people are a little more level-headed look at it and go, okay, reason people were actually cheering was because they didn't like him as a quarterback.
Right.
Like he wasn't good.
Right.
But if this guy was leading them to Super Bowls, a lot of them would ignore the 30 plus women who he sexually assaulted or allegedly sexually assaulted and had to come to terms with all of them and pay them for their accusations. And so there's an element of that. And Jameis is the last person, a guy who's been accused himself of sexually assaulting numerous women and stealing crab legs and messing with Uber drivers. He's the last person to be out here being sanctimonious about anything. And I feel so ashamed that I cheered for that guy as he took us to a national championship because he is not he's kind of a bad person overall. So yeah.
Well, yeah. Well, I mean, for me, it's like I said, I don't think cheering someone when they're hurt is ever the thing, but
bad karma. It's bad karma.
But it's bad karma. I agree with you. Okay, Mike Joyce, going off last week's conversation, Rocha absolutely should start a politics channel. Impolite Truths with Dorina was great. Maybe title it The Enemy Within. I've been telling Rocha for weeks upon weeks, maybe months, to do that, and especially now. I don't know what he's waiting for.
Because it's a lot of work, and it's also a lot of mental health work to watch all this stuff.
That's true.
And control your emotions.
But you watch it anyway.
Yeah, but then because I rage and then I move on. Do you know what I'm saying? But to sit here and fester and have to watch these interviews, like you would think I want to spend an hour watching the Undertaker interview Trump? Give me a break. But that would be great content. But it's just a matter of, do I want to put myself through it?
All right. Hey, listen, I'm just telling you.
I know you're right.
I'm just telling you. All right, so Ewok. I haven't chimed in for a bit because my wife just gave birth to my second child. That's awesome, dude. Congratulations. This super chat is in honor of all the moms out there, the true superheroes. Facts. Total facts. Ewok follows it up.
Except for maybe Penguin's mom, but yes.
That's true. What are your, although she toughened him up.
She kind of did.
You know what I love? You know what I love about that whole thing? If you listen to it's all planned out in that show. Because Kristen Miliotti's accent is significantly different than what Penguin is doing.
Yeah.
However, if you listen to his mother has the same exact cadence. And it's like a different part of town. Like it's like a Gotham accent. It's like old school, old timey 1930s Chicago accent.
Yeah.
Which I absolutely love, because it's like it's not like just his trying to do a bad East Coast accent. It's not. Yes. It's clearly like they're going for something, and it's his mother's accent too. They're both doing the same thing.
Yeah.
And because then you get Miliotti, who is, it's funny because the editors I said, like, she's got to be from the East Coast, and I realized it throughout my reaction. I was like, oh, she's from Jersey. But it didn't edit that part in. So the whole comment section is, she's actually from Jersey. She's from Jersey. Like, not people being douchey, just letting me know that she's from Jersey. But her accent is just, I mean, about as authentic as you get.
Yeah. I love it. It's good to see it.
Yeah, it is. Oh wait, Ewok, what are some of your favorite Shakespearean adaptations? Mine are Kurosawa's Ran, based on King Lear, and Branagh's Henry V.
Yeah. Branagh's is great.
Yeah.
Go ahead. Do you have some thoughts on this? Go ahead, man.
I was going to, well, I mean, I've always wanted to see a new Othello. Because I know they did that Macbeth one, the one with Fassbender, that wasn't bad. But yeah, I think, and there's quite a few that I probably have to jump through, but I think that I always wanted to see the Othello one for sure.
Yeah, I mean, the Orson Welles Othello is fantastic. I enjoyed that one.
A long time ago.
Yeah, a long time ago. I do like the Macbeth Othello. I'm sorry, the Macbeth Fassbender Macbeth. I thought that was really good. Removing all the comedy and just making this dark, moody Scottish piece, I thought was genius. Branagh's Henry V is good. I thought his Hamlet was mostly good, although there are a couple of miscast characters. I think Jack Lemmon is horribly miscast.
Mostly dead.
Mostly dead. To blame. But yes, and Throne of Blood is another fantastic Macbeth from Kurosawa that I think works really well if you take a look at that one. And I thought Hopkins' King Lear, which I think is on Prime Video, was really good with him as King Lear. So there are a few of these most recent ones that I think are a joy to dive into. And of course, Ian McKellen's Richard III was incredible with Robert Downey Jr. and Annette Bening, that I thought was excellent, that y'all should check out.
Freaking theater nerd. All right, so here is the next one. Here is for Armada again. And he says, shout out and major love to Tribe for getting inducted into Rock and Roll Hall of Fame. Also, Dupa Lipa was there, hot enough to make the sun melt. God damn, yeah, she's an attractive lady. She was at the Critics' Choice Awards last year, and yeah, she's an attractive lady. I don't know if I did, but what was? Oh yeah, Dave Matthews also.
Yeah,
Are you a Dave Matthews guy?
I like Dave. I like Dave for the music he released that were hits. And I grew up in. I'm not sorry. I lived in Charlottesville for 2 years, so that is like Dave Matthews Central at Charlottesville, Virginia. So I was always surrounded by his music, and so I enjoyed it.
I mean, you couldn't get away from it at Florida State. You couldn't get away from it at Florida State.
Oh yeah, that too. Yeah.
Do you know who gave a speech to get him into the Hall of Fame?
Dave Matthews? No, who?
Should look it up while I do this. Look it up. Armada, excuse my French on that last super chat. Oh, you're all right. You're all right. Let's see. Watch Roker's reaction when he finds out who gave the speech. Julia.
Cher.
No, not Cher. It wasn't Cher. Cher was also
inducted.
She was inducted. Right. Yeah. It's just say who gave the speech.
Oh
there
boy.
You go. Who was
Florence Pugh?
No,
wow, that
not
is
Florence Pugh. She wishes. Julius Wyatt says, can't believe I live in a world where Indiana is ranked above Bama in college football rankings. Shout out to my dogs for a big win in Austin. Love the show. Yeah, well, John and I can't really dance about football right now, college football. Brutal. Whatever.
But good games going on, though. That Tennessee-Bama game, bit of a snore fest in the first half, but then it woke up in the second. And I thought Georgia's game with Texas was fantastic.
Hey, man, you're at 47 thus far. It's pretty damn good. Derek Johnson says, I love this show. Just throwing some support. Derek is always throwing some support. We love Derek. And Exalted 10 says, any opinions on the rumor that part of the reason the Wild Robot is holding so strong is because young teens are buying tickets for that and sneaking into Terrifier 3? You know how many people would have to do that in order for it to be a success? You know, like, okay, did like 100 people do that? Did like 200 people do that? Sure. But like even if 500 people did it, 1,000 people did it, it's still, I mean, how much it's not enough to really put it up that much. Like although look, we live in a different era. Like in the way that you could send out a TikTok blast to millions of people to tell them to do that. So who the hell knows? But I don't think so. I think that it's well, what's funny about that is I had my friend Sam watch it. She had no idea what it was. No clue. Cried 5 times watching it. And then her family, when she just said what she had watched with me, none of them had heard of it.
Oh wow!
So I don't know. What do you think about this?
I don't know if we can even quantify it, to be honest with you. I mean, I used to sneak into movies when I was dirt poor, and so I get it. And sneak into movies that you maybe weren't allowed to see because they were R-rated. But I don't know how many theaters still have that possibility, right? Because it's assigned seating everywhere you go. So are you going to risk, going toe to toe with somebody because you're sitting in their seats? I mean, did you check and see that it's an open theater?
That's right.
It's
a good point.
A lot of seats. So it takes a lot of effort.
It does. It's not like if it was like 15, 20 years ago. I remember I had to sneak into Fort Fairlane. Best. Carlton Rudd. You know what happened?
Those pedals. I'm dying over
that he was like the first guy to get canceled. I mean,
yes, he actually legitimately got canceled. There's a lot of people who use that word didn't get fucking canceled.
Because it was like they let him into the party, and then he's doing the same thing he was doing when they let him into the party, and then he decided, no, we don't like that anymore. And then they turned on him, like Nora Dunn at the Saturday Night Live thing and MTV. And then
Nora Dunn, sanctimonious Nora Dunn.
What was so funny was that whole movement with him with Dice was that movie Fort Fairlane was supposed to get. That was when he was at the height of his powers, and when he shot it, and so they were going to put it in. It was supposed to get big wide release, and then he gets canceled. They put it in no theaters. I remember the theater that they put it was called the Quartet. It was on Northern Boulevard. And it was the only place that was showing it, and I had to sneak into it, dude. It was bad. I mean, the movie. I like the movie. I love that movie.
I like the movie too. I think it's what'd be fun is if we did a reaction to that movie all these years later.
100%.
But I'd be down to
who would watch it though? Who would besides me and you? We literally would just do it to watch the movie.
I think your audience is a little
Dice.
There's some Dice fans in the audience. I think.
I wonder. Carlton Rudder, London Calling. Well done to Liverpool. In your book, who is a better actress, Tilda Swinton, Saoirse Ronan, Florence Pugh, or Anya Taylor-Joy? Better actress.
I'd have to still give it to Tilda because she's got more years,
more experience. I think if you take her out of the mix and you put because the younger ones, you got Saoirse Ronan, Florence Pugh, and you tell her Joy.
Florence, I still go Florence.
I'm probably gonna. I mean, look, after seeing that movie, she's pretty damn good in it. I mean, look, I never doubted her talent. That was never the conversation. That was never the conversation. She's pretty damn good, and she's really good in that movie. But Anya Taylor-Joy pretty damn good too. But yeah, I think so is Saoirse Ronan. I haven't seen her new movie though. Have you?
Yeah, The Outrun. I did a review for it. It's so good.
Okay,
she's excellent in that movie. I hope she gets nominated because I don't think it did well in the box office.
No, it didn't.
She is excellent in that movie.
I want to see it. Wes Nelson. So I'd probably go Florence Pugh, by the way. Wes Nelson. Hey, guys, have you started season 2 of Shrinking? I started the series last week and finished a day later. I was pleasantly surprised at how good it was. Well, the whole season, you mean season 1, and then you finished, because season 2, I think there's only 1 or 2 episodes out so far. I did start episode 1. I haven't watched 2 yet. Do you watch this series?
I have not watched the series yet.
Okay.
I got to get on this series.
I think you'd like it.
I haven't even watched Severance. I got to watch Severance.
Okay. Well, yeah. I mean, this is a lot lighter than Severance. Derek Johnson, turn to support. Thank you. Shay Markel. Question: was Sophia really a friend to Oz? I say no. I think early on, yeah, because she was such a. I really love the way that they kind of marinated her character. I think she legit felt for him. I think she felt for him for a bit, and then she got caught up in the anger and everything else too, and kind of did what everybody else did to him. And I think that's what set him on the path to ultimately kind of say, okay, I'm going to do my thing now.
I don't know. It's a good question. She's a privileged rich kid.
Yeah, that's true also.
Who went, but like when it was convenient for her to be nice to Oz, she was nice to Oz. But when Oz tried to warn her away from the reporter, remember her reaction? She's like, "You're just a freaking driver."
Well, that's what I'm saying. And then once
give me your opinion, and so
that's what set him off. That set him off. Imagine if she didn't do that.
You can't imagine that was the only time she's done that. I think that was she did it one time too many, and it was right when Oz wanted to make a move. I'm sure she was verbally abusive to him a number of times. He was getting to know what it was like to be a driver, and even when he was in the house, she's like, "What are you doing inside?" And so there was this thing. I think there's I don't know about friend, but certainly maybe she used him as a counsel when it was convenient for her, but then dismissed him when it was convenient for her as well. And I see so many people trying to be Sophia apologists. You remember she said, "I want to take over the kingdom," and I was happy to take it. Like, she made the deal with her dad to take over his crime empire.
Yeah, she's always been victim. No, she's not, but she did get screwed.
Right. Yes. 100%.
Yeah. All right. Next one. This is Francisco Lopez. Yesterday was a stressful night with my Mets and my Jets. Lost, but at least my Liberty are WNBA champs. Well, what's right? Well, hey, the guy likes the Liberty.
Come on, give me a break, guy. Go back and watch that. The foul disparity in a finals game.
They said they got. That's right. I saw the coach said that they got screwed. Right.
She said they stole this.
That's right. I saw that. I know nothing about the WNBA. What team is Caitlin on?
Indiana Fever.
And so were they even in the thing?
They got in the playoffs, but they got knocked out in the first round real quick by the Connecticut Sun.
Okay. And so that's when the whole audience stopped watching, basically.
I don't know. I haven't seen the numbers.
There's no. I would love to see the numbers. The second they got eliminated, I'm sure everybody stopped watching.
But Sabrina celebrating when she was 1 of 19 for 5 points in a finals game. Get out of here with that stuff. Anyway,
you know more about it than I do. So let's get to the next one here. Again, hitting 50. John hits 50 once again. You gotta. That's got to be a record. Consistent.
Thank you.
Francisco Lopez. Now I'm rooting for the Yankees to win the World Series. See, now that's a real New Yorker. But that's a real New Yorker. It's like, it's, to me, if you're a Mets fan and you just like, I'm so curious what my neighbor is, who he's gonna root for, because he said that thing about my second favorite team is, but are you gonna root for the team that knocked the Mets out of the playoffs?
Yeah,
it's a New York team. Bring home the title. So he's his
choice.
Yeah, I'm rooting for the Yankees to win the series to support my father. The Yankees is his favorite team and my city, and that's also fair. Go Paul. Sam Godaharan. I just saw your video with Greg. It reminded me that my mom took me to see The Golden Child in the theater when I was 7 or 8. Yeah. Excuse me. Oh, it was rough. Greg Alba started a podcast, and so he asked me to do it virtual. And
wait, another one? How many does he have?
He doesn't have any podcasts. He just this is his first he does like a long. He doesn't do any long form. He just started. He did the Diary of the Real Rejects podcast, so it's like a full hour kind of interview thing. So I did. I did the episode with him, and we just talked for a bit. And we talked about like rated R movies, and I was thinking about how I've told my mom this. Like I was trying to remember. I know that there was one or two. I always said there's two movies that I know that I saw in the theater. I know which one I saw with my mom and which one I saw with my dad. And I was like, which is the first rated R movie you saw? And I saw Vision Quest with my dad. I saw Beverly Hills Cop with my mom. And I was like, oh, well, Beverly Hills Cop is actually 84. The other one's 85. So was my mom. And my mom, if you knew my mom, like you'd be like, it was an accident that we wound up there because there's no world where she would have taken me to see that. She wouldn't even let me watch Three's Company on TV. So Beverly Hills Cop, but she also spent money on it. We ain't leaving, so.
Oh, right.
Yeah. So I remember seeing that, and she, to this day, she's like, that never happened. I didn't tell you. I'm like, well, it was somebody else who looked just like it. Cause I went and I saw that movie. But yeah, so I remember seeing that for sure.
That's great.
Yeah.
That's awesome. That's a great thing for Greg. Of course.
Yeah. It was good. I had, it's so funny though, too, because like I said, and going back to what we said before, I want to make I wanted to kind of follow the same advice I give people who are on this show or other things too. Is like I went into the comments for a section for a minute, and I'm like, why am I doing this to myself? And then I left because like a lot of it was positive, but then you see one guy who's just like that was where that comment came from about he used to be positive, but he's negative all the time, and I can't. And now he's just doing reactions, and he said he used to hate people who do reactions, which I never said. I said there are people who overcook it. There are some people, and you see them doing reactions, and it's like. That someone will do something and it's like someone picks up an apple. Oh, whoa, oh! I hate that shit, and that's not what Greg does. Those guys don't do that. But I still hate that shit. It's like it's not real. It's like when it's real, it's like that's the whole point. And I never and so it was the same thing that was someone on one of the shorts we've been doing a lot of the shorts from the Deadpool and Wolverine thing, and they've done very well for us, the little shorts, but they're like 15-20 seconds. And some as Dice would say, asshole face comments on the thing and goes, reactions when you actually react and say things. I'm like, watch the 2-hour freaking video, you stupid moron. And it's like that kind of stuff. I didn't comment. I was like, leave it alone. So I stay away from that stuff. Josh Vaskovich, hey guys, happy birthday, John. Mine is Saturday. October's the Beth month. Our birthday's Halloween and the postseason. MLB. Yes. Yeah. It's a good month. I forget that you missed the Libra stuff, right?
I'm a Scorpio.
Yes, you are. Right. They definitely are. Josh Vasquez, the Dodgers fans here. Boo. What are some pop culture equivalents to this World Series? Stone Cold versus The Rock, Nirvana versus Pearl Jam, Bugs versus Mickey. What do you think?
It's Godzilla versus Kong, because these are the two legendary storied. Really right?
Lakers, Bulls.
Yeah.
Lakers, Celtics. Lakers, Celtics.
Yeah. These are two legendary baseball teams in the history of the entire MLB. So,
Tyson Ali.
Yeah, if they were to face each other in their primes, let's say so. Yeah. That's a fair point. I think that's a good comparison. Yeah.
Hank Pym, is Tiffy time to cash in at WWE Crown Jewel? You've been watching?
I don't think she'd crack.
How do you watch all this stuff? You watching sports? You're watching politics? You're watching movies? How do you watch all this stuff? I don't have
kids, buddy boy.
That's probably true. That's a good answer.
Listen, no offense to anybody who's had kids. God love you. No respect. I'm happy not having kids, and I enjoy my free time. Yeah. And God love you if you had kids. What was it? What do we say about the movies?
Yeah.
It's great if you like it.
Yeah, exactly. 100%. Yeah, no, you could. It's true. You could stay up to 3 a.m. and wake up at any time you want. It doesn't hurt you. You don't have somebody going, Mama, Dada.
Yeah. And I have a very supportive life partner who doesn't need me to be around her all the time. So it's great. It helps me.
Yeah, understood. Cowboys fan 92. Hey, Harloff and John, happy Monday and happy early birthday to John. Sorry for going off topic, but earlier today, the CEO of Warner TV has confirmed that HBO Harry Potter series will be more in depth than the films were. I guess dealing more with death. Is that what it is?
In depth, right? Or in depth?
He said in depth, but I think he means in depth. Yes.
Yeah. Well, I hope so.
Well, you would hope. Yeah, that's the whole point. Is that you want to dive into the books themselves, and I think that's what I always thought. I push back against anybody who says it's not a good idea to do that series.
Oh, no, I think it's smart as hell.
Very smart.
Oh,
very smart. You can dive because you can do what they did with Percy Jackson. You can really break it down. You gotta. I mean, if I'll tell you, and they won't do this because Warner Brothers and HBO does not do this. If they make these episodes half-an-hour episodes, I'm throwing things at the television.
Yeah,
They won't. They don't. The HBO Max does. I mean, look at the Penguin. The Penguin's over an hour long. If it was Disney Plus, it'd probably be 23 minutes.
They hired the woman from Succession, which I broke on the hot mic months ago, and she is not going to be doing a half-hour show.
No.
Like she is going to be diving in deep. They're going to explore everything.
Right.
And what's been the main complaints from Harry Potter fans is that these movies only skim the surface of what is in these books. So of course they're going to be in depth.
Makes me kind of want to go back and reread the books.
Yeah.
Ian Davis, best director of all time between these five: Scorsese, Spielberg, Tarantino, Nolan, or James Cameron. I'd love to know both your thoughts on this. Of all time is so hard because like Cameron doesn't really have a lot of misses, right?
Yeah.
But he also doesn't have as many movies as the rest of them. So if you look at box office, he's the GOAT box office.
Right. Totally.
Yeah. So
I would say Scorsese because just the amount of classic films and the fact that he's endured for decades and decades and decades and made great films in each of the decades that he's made movies, I think speaks volumes. Spielberg is much more of a populist filmmaker. If there was more Schindler's Lists on his list, on his resume, then I would kind of veer a little bit closer to Scorsese. But I just think Scorsese overall found that sweet spot of making artistic films that are also widely consumed by mass audiences. And that's a really difficult thing to do. And so I think he's the best of the five. But Tarantino is great, but he's fun. You know what I'm saying? He's making great movies, but they're really kind of 70s homages, almost all of them. So
Nolan, where do you put Nolan in there? He's too young still?
I think Nolan's still a little young, but he's getting there. For God's sakes, he's getting there. I mean, the Dunkirk is the only one that I haven't really liked from Nolan. Dunkirk. And so,
did you like Tenet?
Tenet. I guess Tenet. I enjoyed that experience way less than Dunkirk. Dunkirk is
I like
certainly
Dunkirk.
a good movie.
Yeah, I really love Dunkirk, but Tenet's probably my least favorite of his. But yeah, you can. I think that you can make a case for any one of them. I really do think you can make a case for any of them. It's hard to argue against it because Spielberg. What's funny is that I actually prefer his stuff that he does now, like The Post and all those other things, more so than the big budget blockbusters now, because I just don't think it's the same type of blockbuster making these days. And I think that he is. I don't know. I don't think he's got it the same way that he used to with those. But with those other movies, I really did. And Saving Private Ryan is actually my favorite Spielberg movie. I know you're not a big fan of that one, right?
After the first 30 minutes.
No, the whole movie.
The first 30 minutes are great.
The whole movie's wonderful. It's great. So that's. But again, I could. If anybody picks any of those, I would say I understand.
I think Cameron, you can make the least strongest
because he doesn't have enough. He doesn't have enough. Francisco Lopez. I want to be, and you know what it is about Cameron also, John, is that he doesn't. Outside, kind of going off the point you made before, he doesn't have those smaller Saving Private Ryan movies or more Oscar movies. He's got all his movies are big, huge movies for the most part.
You could argue Terminator is the only one that's legitimately small.
And that's only because that's all he had. That's all the money that he was able to do it. Francisco Lopez, I want to be excited for Daredevil, but the things that keep me worried is that it's a Disney Plus show. And all the live action MCU shows are okay at best, but I love WandaVision, I love Loki, and What If, and Hawkeye. Also, the shows are not consistent with their runtimes, and that bothers me. Am I crazy for that? No, you're not crazy for that. That's what we were just talking about with the runtimes. That's a great point. Like, we were just talking about that with Harry Potter, right? Like, I hope like Daredevil on Netflix was like 45 to 55 minutes, or mostly 55 minutes to an hour. I thought. I don't know what it is about. I'm thinking more and more so it is a Disney Plus thing, because I used to say it is just a Lucasfilm thing because their shows are so short. But I mean, Agatha doesn't need to be an hour. I think Agatha works fine as a 35, 40-minute show. But no, this show should be, Daredevil should be an hour long. If it's 35 minutes, it's going to be a problem.
Yeah.
You think? What do you think? You think it's going to wind up being?
I think a healthy amount of skepticism is good going into this situation, because remember, they stopped midstream to start all over again. So you hope that it's for all the right reasons, but we don't know. So, and I do think the run times will be varied, because this is the longest series they're ever going to do, right? Because it's like, or that they've done to this point. It'll be like 20 episodes or 18 episodes.
Yeah.
That's the
no,
longest.
they're not doing 18 anymore.
Well, what did they
For
say?
Daredevil, I think they're doing more so. I think it's 10 or something. They were going to do 18 initially,
Okay.
and then I think they pulled back. I mean, fact check me on that, but I'm pretty sure that they're not doing 18 anymore.
Okay. Well, either way, then if they're not doing 18, I think these will be 35 to 40 minutes each, or 45 minutes each episode. That's what I think.
Yeah. Okay, so Derek Johnson throwing in some more support there as he always does.
Okay. Well, it's okay. It says season 1 is 9 episodes, and season 2 is 9 episodes. Okay. So maybe it's not 18.
Splitting it up a little bit.
Split it up. Yeah.
Derek Johnson, what are your feelings about reality TV? Has it dumbed us down as a viewing audience, or is it a different type of gladiatorial spectacle for this age? I mean, it's been around for so long now. I mean, it ultimately people will throw back, I think, not correctly, and say, well, Survivor started it all in 2000. It's not true. Real World started it all back in like the 90s.
I would say before OJ started it all. OJ is the original reality TV.
That's true too.
That's where the producers went, wait
a minute.
We'll sit here all day and watch this court case?
But wasn't Real World before OJ?
I don't know. I think Real World was right after, maybe a couple of years after.
Maybe, but the same.
Fact check.
Yeah, but the same. But I think that it's always been, it's a genre, you know, and I think that there's more, just like there's trashy television scripted. They get trashier and trashier, and there's some that are really smart, and there's some that really work well, and there's other like the cooking shows and things like that. I still find myself watching those things because I found like that to me, like I like watching The Skill. And those, you know what I'm watching now that got canceled after one season, but I'm watching it with my 7-year-old, is the Dr. Seuss baking show on Amazon. It's not great, but it's just, I get to my little one is just like, she wants to watch it. She curls up with me and we watch it, and they're building, nonsense.
Right.
So whatever.
Well, yeah. So Real World was 92, season 1. And then OJ's 94. So what you could argue is, because that's MTV, that's very much a, like a cable channel. So that was their first foray into seeing if this works. I think OJ is where it went. All these big networks were like, wait a minute.
You can do so much more with this. Yeah. Armada, personally would love to see Nolan adapt Slaughterhouse 5 or Cat's Cradle by Kurt Vonnegut. Or he could do a remake of Dreamscape. There's so much. I mean, you just said so many different things of what he could potentially do, which would be so great. I mean, I'm excited to hear whatever it's going to be, but I would like to see him. I'd love to see him do a fantasy movie for sure.
Yeah. No offense, Vonnegut is boring. I wouldn't want to see him do a Vonnegut thing, but
maybe he can make it interesting. Derek Johnson asks, your thoughts on the Expendables franchise? I feel like the premise was amazing, but Stallone and Statham made it about them. They could have brought in 80s action stars like Cynthia Erivo, Jackie Chan, Sammon's Hung, and others. I think it lost its way. I think that they started it pretty good. I think it lost its way, and I hated the fake blood. It drove me nuts. And I think that they could have taken it a little bit more into the 80s, like kind of, it got too big, the first one, I remember, I can't even tell you, I remember some of them, but the first one, the second one, I remember thinking, I was enjoying myself, but it lost the luster.
I think the third one, because they started casting less capable actors to play the ensemble. And that, why is Ronda Rousey in that movie, for God's sake? So, or those boxers that they brought in, you're like, these guys can act with nothing. So that's when they veered away from that. It became an issue. But I thought the first one was really good. I thought the second one's good for Van Damme, who's arguably the best villain of all three of those movies. And Banderas in the third one is a lot of fun with Harrison Ford. So, there's watchable things about all of them, but yes, it should be stronger.
Mike Joyce, any interest in Conclave? The trailer looks great. I think that first time I heard about it was last week in Gambino TV. I didn't see the trailer yet. Did you?
Conclave. I've watched all the trailers and I'm seeing it tomorrow.
Which one is that?
4:30. The Ray Fiennes Pope.
Oh,
one?
right. Okay. Eric Kirby, Mr. Rocha, when is Game Time airing this week?
I don't know. Winston is out of town the next couple of days, so I may have to do it myself.
No, that's my fault.
Do it tomorrow after Monday night.
Yeah, that's my fault.
Oh yeah, you sent him to the Ultraman thing.
Yeah, he's doing the Ultraman thing for us. He's going for Netflix. He's going to do.
Clear this stuff with me.
I know. I apologize. Armada, I'd love it, but would torture Kristian as if he's Arnold in Kindergarten Cop. If we had a show with Rocha, Kristian, Snyder, and Kalinowski, should be a donation request.
Oh my God!
I don't know. I wouldn't. I think that would be a fun show. The four of us trying to do
That's an after dark show.
Well, Not necessarily. I mean, you guys, all of you guys can talk. I mean, that's the business. I mean, the business side of things. And Kalinowski, you know, it's just the question is who's grouchier. It depends on what mood you're in. But
it depends on the subject.
It depends on the subject. But I think overall grouchiness, Kalinowski and Snyder could go in a battle there. But I don't know if those two have ever been on the air together outside of Schmodown. I don't even know if they would be able to.
Especially, you know, with what happened.
Yeah. Jason Fast Horse. Little movie trivia genre, sci-fi category quotes. Name the movie. Who is it this time? My mother? Also, I think Rocha is a professional critic. Well, there you go.
Thank you.
So, who is it this time? My mother? I don't know. You know that one?
No, I don't know this one.
Jason's going to have to let us know the answer there.
Uh-oh. Who is it?
Someone said, who is Dupa Lipa? You don't know who Dupa Lipa is? Well, you ain't paying attention. Dupes. There's probably someone who'd never watched this show before. It's like I had there's two things that are great about that. Like, first of all, when we first started saying that on the show, Roxy, because Brett and I started saying Dupa Lipa. Roxy was on a conference call with all the younger kids from AfterBuzz, and she didn't realize she said Dupa Lipa, and she said they all looked at her like she was a basic bitch. Her words, not mine. And so that was hilarious. And then when my wife was on the show with me, we were doing reaction, and she said something like, oh, Dupa Lipa? And I look at her, she was like, I'm not doing that with you. I said, all right. Armada. Anthony Cheeseman's going to get blocked. You know why? Why do you think I'm going to block? Why do you think I'm going to block him?
I don't. You don't let me see the chat anymore.
He said she's more attractive than Julia Roberts. I'm blocking him.
Who is
Florence Pugh. Oh no, maybe he's saying Dupa Lipa. Is he saying Dupa Lipa?
I think he's saying Dupa Lipa.
Hard for me to say right now that she's not more attractive. I'm not going to be an idiot. I'm saying that one. I mean, Dupa Lipa is like make you stop in your tracks. Armada, Kalinowski and Rocha politics show. Be warned. Oh my God.
Good night.
Good.
No way.
Yeah, no way. You'd be screaming at each other even if you're on the same page. So this is, and I'm kidding by the way. I wouldn't ban Anthony. Kristian Unpronounceable. I'd love to know if you've seen my favorite movie of all time, The Man from Earth. It's a small one-room story, but it affected me the most. No. Did you see that one?
I've seen The Man Who Fell to Earth, David Bowie one, but not The Man from Earth.
Yeah.
Interesting.
No.
Okay.
Yeah, so there you go. No, I haven't to check that one out. I hadn't heard that one. Dr. Zeus. Zeus. I always have loved listening, but can never watch live with work. Silver lining to being homesick. I get to watch you guys. Been following you guys since you guys popped up on an old movie fights. Well, thank you, Dr. Zeus. I appreciate you being here with us and enjoying the show. Thank you so much.
Those were the days.
That's
Kristian got me into that show.
That's right. We're 57 right now, bud. 57. Hey. You think you can hit 60 before we sign off?
Come on. How close are we?
57.
Come on,
Steve S. Hey, guys. A few months, my local cinema closed. It opened with new independent chain owners recently, and I saw Seven Samurai with a 4K remaster. That's cool.
That's awesome.
Amazing experience with an almost full house.
Yeah.
Hopefully, cinema isn't gone just yet. And that's the type of stuff that needs to start happening, so more and more generations kind of pick it up. Yeah. But that's a great story.
That's why I do my podcast. We've been doing it for 9 years. The Cinephiles. We go into classic movies every week to talk about them. One movie every week, you know, and I love doing it because it's my way of touching base with why I fell in love with movies. And if you really want to hear my critical analysis of films, that's where you go, because we just did a 3-hour episode where we broke down the second half of The Natural, the 1984 film with Robert Redford. And so we go bone deep. And so that's what I love about doing that, because it's a way of getting back in touch with classic cinema and keeping it alive. And a lot of people listen to us every week, like 30, 40, 50,000 downloads per week. So it's a really nice podcast that I enjoy doing.
You know, speaking of The Natural, I was just looking, we were going to do, at this point, we're about 10 years into it. I always planned on starting the Schmodown Hall of Fame after year 10.
Oh, my
and
God.
we would have been in year 10 this year.
Well,
so it would
get a building, set it up.
I know. No, thanks. Hank Pym, I just went to Dollywood for the first time and threw up. What's the strangest place that you've thrown up? I mean, I don't know. It would have been the strangest place I've ever thrown up. I don't even think about that. I
don't think I've thrown up in a strange place.
I'm not sure. Just like, out of nowhere. I can't. I mean, I guess this is par for the course. But I went to Mardi Gras. I remember just on the street, like, hey, I want to do it here, and just keep on walking.
Yeah.
Derek Johnson, thank you so much, my friend. And then Hank Pym, a music artist that you'd like to have their own park. Rolling Stones. You kidding me?
The Rolling Stones.
Great.
Park.
Have their own park? Like their own like amusement park? Be great.
Yeah, I guess you could hear the Stones all day. I
100%.
suppose. Yeah.
I forget. You're a Beatles guy, right?
I am.
Yeah, I'm a Stones guy.
Yeah, Stones are a garage band.
Say what?
Stones are a garage band. Give me a break.
The Beatles.
You know what?
Come on. Rolling Stones are cool.
I think Elvis should have his own damn theme park.
Probably right. Jason Fast Horse. For you and Rocha, name your favorite memory from the old Collider days when I left. And also, I think you missed my first question. I got your first question. I got your first question. I think I did. John, you go ahead. You bring up a memory.
Favorite memory? I've been interviewing The Rock twice.
Yeah,
what do you want from me? I mean, Baywatch and Jumanji. I went back and rewatched those interviews over the weekend because they try to bury my stuff on that site now, and you can barely find it. But like, every once in a while I go back and rewatch those, and so I appreciate it.
Yeah,
those are great memories. And Kristian hooked that up for me, so I'll always be appreciative of that. You know, because I was so nervous to interview The Rock and Jack Black and.
It was a good one.
And Kevin Hart.
Yeah, you had the bell. I saw the picture. Just had the picture of the day. But Jason, I got your other question. It was the movie quote. Unless there was another one after that, but I answered it. But yeah, I mean, I would say the Schmodown, for sure is hilarious. You want to hear something hilarious? Is that Mike Joyce knows me so well? This is a back, this backed up. So Mike Joyce said Kristian's answer is going to be leaving. 100%. That one, if I go back again, I would have said no. Let's see.
Wait, you would have said no to joining.
I would have just kept. If I can go back in time, if I was to go back in time, I would have had Mark Ellis and I do the Schmoes Know show with the two of us doing movie reviews, and knowing what I do now.
Yeah,
doing a YouTube channel, just the Schmoes Know YouTube channel with the two of us doing reviews all the way through to now. Nothing else. No Schmodown, no Collider Live, nothing. That's all.
Hit $1 million. You might have hit $1 million.
Because that, and also just knowing it, and because it's just way more like knowing how it works now and everything in general, and way less stressful than all that stuff too.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. New York Truck. Samantha Irvin just announced she's leaving WWE.
Yes. Yeah, I was going to tell you. Breaking news, Kristian. Your favorite announcer is leaving WWE.
Who are they going to get to do it now? They're going to need someone to scream and yell.
How dare you?
Yeah,
that woman was the best thing since Finkel.
Well,
I think she's going with Ricochet to AEW.
Interesting. They're going to have her she's going to scream to an empty arena. Screwface John.
Hey.
People try to on Rocha. Oh, people try to shit on Rocha for being woke, but I'm with it, even if I don't always agree. Sometimes I feel like if we don't get represented as much as we get told to get over it a lot. I deal with it. Let's see. Although the Snow White actress is tripping. Yeah. She definitely
exactly.
She definitely is.
Well, thank you for that support.
He's the best. Thank you, Screwface. Really always appreciate Screwface. Joyous Romer. May the force be with you. Are you guys excited for Skeleton Crew? I'm not going to say excited, but I'm curious and I'm rooting for it. That's a contrary to belief here. I am going to be rooting for this show, and I like John Watts a lot. So I'm really hoping this show is going to be good. I want it to be a surprise, and I want people to go, "That's how you do it. That's how you do it." I want me and you on the week after it comes out to go, "Who knew that this show was going to be so good?" That's what I want, and but that's what I want.
Yeah.
But I don't have hope for it. How are you feeling about it?
Yeah, I'm cautiously optimistic. Like I want it to be good. I hope it's good. Nothing I've seen has made me concerned about how good it is. And I know some people took my comments from a few weeks ago on the show and misconstrued it. And when I said that Disney was concerned about how it was going to be received because of how other shows have been received before. I wasn't saying Disney knows they have a bad show, but people just ran with it to aggregate it. I was expressing, because I think all of us are looking at this going like, okay, we're wondering how this one's going to be received, because I already see people coming for it from the anti-woke side of things, and so it's going to be exhausting to get into that again. But I just want it to be good, and I hope it's good.
I really hope it's good.
Magical.
Yeah, that's the thing, right? Is I really hope that it's good, and I hope that it plays into whatever they're trying to do, because it's supposed to like be part of this kind of universe, right? But the Filoni Favreau universe. But I don't know. I saw some comment. This is a completely off subject. That about we were talking about Jon Favreau and how he kind of he was the one who was really championing to get Downey as because of their relationship and all that. And I remember when Downey was around Silver Pictures all the time, because he was at the time dating Susan Downey, who was now his wife. And he used to be around all the time. And I remember when they were talking about him getting that movie and talking about how what John had done, and someone in the comment section was like, I don't know what you're talking about. It was Terrence Howard. It's like, no, Terrence Howard also put his support in for him, but it was Jon Favreau. Like 100% it was Jon Favreau. So sometimes people make up their own things. I don't know. That's it, John. We did it. You end the day here at 61.
Nice.
Very, very nice start. 61. And we are going to have Roxy on tomorrow to see if she can top that. But she'll be doing some TV stuff. Nice. And that's it.
I miss her. I miss Roxy.
You haven't done a show with Roxy yet, have you?
Yeah, put me on with Rox. I miss Rox.
Well, I don't let anybody touch the Monday show. Monday's your.
Let me come on a Rox show, or let me come on Capes and Cows.
Aren't you busy during the week? I haven't asked you to do a second one
over something. Come on, it's good TV.
It is good TV. It's if you're going to be around like on days because like that was the case. I didn't know I would have had you on last week because Coy wasn't there.
Oh,
Coy
yeah.
was out of town.
Just reach out. If I've got time, I'll make time.
I've never thought about that before.
I miss the people.
Yeah. So someone said there's no threat to break legs because the record wasn't broken. Rocha's going soft.
It's a Monday, man.
It's a Monday.
I've had a busy week, man. Weekend, rather.
So that's why he wants to be on the Friday show. Friday show, he's going to be strapped to a rocket launcher.
Yeah, can I combine the two?
Yeah. This is the truth. All right, you got anything real quick that you want to plug?
Yeah. Please, as I said, my Penguin reaction is up for episode 5. We got a review coming at 3 p.m. PT from the Geek Buddies this afternoon, and then I'll let you know about game time, what we're going to do with that. But of course, later on this week, Geek Buddies, we just locked down Jedi Way as we were doing the show, so there will be a new Jedi Way this week as well, and some more stuff coming down the pike. YouTube.com/John Rocha says, I'm at 35,000, would love to get to 50. Some of you could head on over there and subscribe. I'd really appreciate it. Trust me, it's good content over there. Thank you very much. And thanks, Kristian.
Thank you, John. We'll see you guys, see John really soon. And thank you guys for being here. As always, we're on Apple, we're on Spotify, we're everywhere podcasts are found. Make sure you check us out. I have Venom: The Last Dance. I'm going to be doing that at the theater reaction for that one tomorrow. So we're going to be doing that. I have a reaction that I'm doing of Alien Romulus with Sam. Shouldn't see that. That comes out tomorrow. We got the Wild Robot with Sam on Friday. And I got a Agatha reaction with my wife coming out this week. So we got a lot of stuff here. So make sure, and if you haven't checked out, you can be a member. There's a lot of people who gifted memberships here. You can do a member. You can become a patron. If you're into the UAP phenomenon, you want to check that out. Check out my other channel, which is Down to Earth with Kristian Harloff. You can check that out. But that's it. That's everything here today. Thanks for joining us. Thanks for being with us. We love you guys. Appreciate you guys. And we'll see you on the flip side. See you later.